Meet Samuel Carter, 68, a familiar face in the Chicago neighborhood where he'd been homeless for over a decade. Thin, weathered, with a gray beard long overdue for a trim, he carried a tattered navy blue duffel bag everywhere, its straps barely holding together. Locals called him the Silent Wanderer. Unlike others on the streets who might ask for spare change or cause a stir, Samuel kept to himself. He collected cans for recycling, took leftovers from kind diner owners, and switched alleyways each night to avoid troubling any one shopkeeper. But what few knew was that Samuel had served in the U.S. Army for 22 years, honorably discharged in 2003. After his wife Ellen passed from leukemia in 2007, a diagnosis the VA hospital missed until it was too late, Samuel sank into grief. He turned away family, sold their small condo, donated the proceeds to a children's hospital Ellen loved, and vanished into Chicago's crowded streets. "Sometimes it's easier to be invisible than to carry the weight of failing the one you love," he once told a shelter worker. On a freezing December evening with wind chills dipping below zero, Samuel slipped into Rossi's corner store. He hadn't eaten in 4 days, his hands shaking as he tucked a stale bagel into his jacket, while Mr. Rossi rang up another customer. But new security cameras caught him. "Hey, stop!" Rossi yelled, already dialing 911. "I just needed to make it one more day," Samuel said softly, the bagel still peeking from his coat. He didn't run. 2 officers arrived fast. The younger one, Officer Daniels, hesitated as he cuffed Samuel's frail wrists. "You a vet?" he asked, spotting a faded dog tag around Samuel's neck. "Used to be someone who mattered," Samuel replied. "Not anymore." "Gotta take you in, sir," Daniels said, almost apologetic. "Store owner's pressing charges. Says this isn't your first time." At the precinct, Samuel was processed like any petty thief. A public defender skimmed his case, more focused on paperwork than people. Samuel got a court date for the next morning, a routine hearing to face charges. In Chicago's municipal courtroom, still in yesterday's worn clothes, Samuel stood alone. No family, no witnesses, just bored lawyers and reporters waiting for bigger cases. Case number 52,107, State versus Samuel Carter, the clerk droned. The young prosecutor stood, smoothing her blouse. "Your Honor, the defendant stole a bagel from a local store. Given his history of minor theft and lack of residence, we recommend detention until trial." Judge Evelyn Harper, known for her sharp rulings, barely glanced up from the file. The courtroom had already written Samuel off, another drifter cycling through the system. "Mr. Carter, how do you plead?" she asked. "Guilty, Your Honor," Samuel said quietly. "I was hungry." A scoff echoed from the back. Judge Harper's eyes snapped toward it, silencing the room. Then something shifted. Judge Harper read the file again. "Samuel James Carter, former Sergeant First Class, United States Army." Her voice faltered. The courtroom went quiet. Her grip tightened on the bench, her face unreadable. Without a word, she stood, an unusual move in a minor hearing. Everyone froze. "Court will take a 15-minute recess," she announced, her tone unsteady. "The defendant will remain." As she left for her chambers, whispers filled the room. Samuel stared at the floor, oblivious to the stir his name had caused. What do you think about veterans who serve their country, only to end up forgotten on the streets? Stick around to find out why this courtroom moment stopped everyone cold. And if you believe in second chances, hit that subscribe button to join our community. In her chambers, Judge Harper pulled an old photo from her desk. A group of soldiers in Afghanistan, 2002, outside a dusty medical tent. Her hands shook as she spotted herself, a young medic. And there, in the back, Samuel Carter. She logged into a military database she still accessed for veteran advocacy work. Samuel's record appeared. 3 tours, 1 in Afghanistan, 2 in Iraq, managing supply lines under fire. In 2001, he earned the Silver Star for dragging a burning ammo truck away from a pinned-down unit, saving 14 lives despite shrapnel wounds. One report stopped her cold. In 2002, under heavy fire, Samuel carried a wounded medic, Private Evelyn Harper, 3 miles to safety, ignoring his own injuries. "My God," she whispered, "it's him." She'd spent years searching for the soldier who saved her life, only knowing him as Carter in the chaos of war. While Judge Harper grappled with this, Samuel sat alone in the courtroom, ignored by a bailiff scrolling on his phone. For 15 years, Samuel had been invisible, grieving Ellen, battling untreated PTSD, let down by a VA system that botched her diagnosis. He'd walked away from his pension, his benefits, his identity. Locals saw him as a nuisance. Kids mocked him, shopkeepers shooed him away, cops moved him along. Other homeless folks avoided the quiet man who woke shouting from nightmares. Samuel survived on recycled cans, buying cough syrup when winter hit his lungs. He never begged. His army discipline held firm, even in despair. On his worst days, he'd clutch a photo of Ellen, wrapped in plastic. "Almost there, Ellie," he'd whisper. "Just holding on." In her chambers, Judge Harper made calls. First to the VA demanding Samuel's service record, then to Colonel Laura Bennett, who'd served with them in 2002. "Laura, it's Evelyn Harper. I found him, the man who saved me in Kabul. He's in my courtroom, homeless, charged with stealing a bagel." Bennett, stunned, said, "I'm 2 hours out." "Keep him there." Judge Harper wrote a note on official letterhead. "Samuel Carter is a hero abandoned by the nation he served." Ethics barred her from dismissing the case outright due to their connection, but she'd ensure justice took a new path. Her clerk found a news clipping on her desk. Samuel carrying an injured Iraqi child to a medevac chopper, once a symbol of hope. A note in Bennett's handwriting read, "Some heroes don't ask to be remembered." When court resumed, Judge Harper's demeanor had changed. Professional, but warm. In light of new information about the defendant's background, this court postpones proceedings pending investigation, she declared. Mr. Carter will remain in custody until tomorrow with a proper meal and medical care. That night, a local blog ran a snarky headline. "Homeless man claims war hero passed. Judge pauses bagel theft case." Comments sneered. "Another fake vet story." In the holding cell, a young inmate reading the Post shoved Samuel. "Stolen valor, huh? My cousin died in Iraq, and you're playing hero." Samuel took the hit, silent, as he had for years. Have you ever seen someone judged unfairly by how they look? Share your story in the comments. Someone out there needs to hear it. The next morning, the courtroom was packed. News crews waited outside. Samuel's public defender was gone, replaced by Margaret Klein, a sharp attorney from the Veterans Justice Network. "Someone's looking out for you, Mr. Carter," she said, offering no details. As Judge Harper entered, 3 officers in dress uniforms followed, Colonel Bennett among them. "All rise for the Honorable Judge Evelyn Harper," the bailiff called. The judge spoke with gravity. "Before addressing charges, we'll hear testimony relevant to the defendant's background." Colonel Bennett took the stand. "I'm Colonel Laura Bennett, Fort Sheridan. I served with Sergeant First Class Samuel Carter in Afghanistan, 2001. He saved 14 soldiers by driving a burning ammo truck away from our position under fire, taking shrapnel to save us. In 2002, he carried a wounded medic, Private Evelyn Harper, 3 miles to safety, despite his own wounds." The courtroom buzzed. Eyes turned to Judge Harper, who nodded, her composure wavering. The prosecutor stood, uneasy. "Your Honor, while this speaks to past character, it doesn't negate the theft." Bennett cut in. "After reviewing Mr. Carter's file, we found an error. In 2007, his pension and benefits were cut off due to a clerical mistake. Paperwork sent to a wrong address. He's owed $1,820 monthly for 15 years, totaling over $327,000 plus medical care." The room went silent. Samuel gripped the table, stunned. Bennett added, Affidavits from 6 unit members, including General Torres, confirm his valor, including saving Torres's daughter in that 2001 ambush. Judge Harper addressed Samuel. Mr. Carter approached the bench. He stood, uncertain. Ethics prevent me from presiding over someone I know personally. I didn't recognize you yesterday, but your file revealed you saved my life in Afghanistan. I've searched for you for 20 years, only knowing Carter from that day. Gas filled the gallery. She continued softer. You carried me 3 miles, wounded yourself. You said, "Keep fighting, kid, your story's not done." Those words shaped my life, my career, my family. This nation failed you. She turned to the prosecutor. Does the state wish to proceed? Your Honor, the prosecutor said, moved. The state moves to dismiss all charges with prejudice. So ordered, Judge Harper said. Mr. Carter, you're free. This court apologizes for the injustice you've endured. As Samuel stood, frozen, the courtroom doors opened. A woman in her 40s approached, tears streaming. Uncle Sam, she said. I'm Clara, Ellen's niece. We've been searching for you. Samuel broke, embracing her, the first kind touch in years. By afternoon, the story exploded. News vans swarmed the courthouse. Mr. Rossi, the store owner, found Samuel. I didn't know your story, he said, ashamed. I saw a problem, not a person. Samuel nodded, too overwhelmed to speak. A veterans group launched a fund raising $250,000 in 24 hours. Social media shared stories of other forgotten veterans, prompting VA reforms. Judge Harper, now recused, met Samuel privately. You told me to keep fighting, she said. Those words gave me purpose. Everything I am, judge, mother, advocate, is because you didn't leave me behind. Samuel smiled, a spark in his eyes. I'm just glad you made it, ma'am. 3 months later, Samuel moved into a veterans housing community in Chicago. His small apartment held a photo wall. Ellen on their wedding day, his unit in Afghanistan, and a new picture with Judge Harper at a veterans ceremony. He spoke at schools, sharing his story of service and survival, connecting with kids who saw his quiet strength. Outside the courthouse, a plaque now reads, Justice is honoring those who served. It shows Samuel carrying the young medic, Judge Harper, with the flag behind them. At its unveiling, the mayor announced the Carter Fund for Homeless Veterans Legal Aid. On Memorial Day, Samuel spoke at Fort Sheridan in his dress uniform, silver star gleaming. I protected this country, he said. Now it's protected me. Kindness isn't late, it just waits for the right hearts to find it. The crowd rose, saluting a hero reclaimed. When have you seen justice arrive late but worth the wait? Share your story below to inspire someone else. Subscribe to True Valor Stories for more tales of resilience and redemption. Hit that bell to never miss a moment where truth triumphs. Samuel Carter was invisible for 15 years, but his story reminds us, no hero should be forgotten.